Kate Meaun is giving her icebreaker speech. The purpose of this project is to introduce herself to the club and learn a basic structure of a public speech. Please help me welcome Kate Meaun as she gives her icebreaker speech titled Freedom. Kate?
Thank you, John. Thank you, Harold. Well, Sandra, after your presentation, I should cancel my icebreaker right now, but I'll go ahead. Fellow Toastmasters, I wonder if you have ever thought about an animal or a bird that you associate with. I will give you a few moments to think about while I'm sharing a video right now. Yeah, you can see in this video a condor that has been in captivity and now he is released into his natural world. He looks confused about his freedom and wants to on what to do with that. But his inner voice whispered to him, "Open your wings and fly." Stop sharing. Well, the story of this condor is my story too, and I will share it. I will share it with you today. I was born in a man-dominated culture where the woman was taught to serve a man and be at his back to help him succeed, to marry. That's the most significant achievement that girls of my generation were taught, but not to follow our dreams, accomplish ourselves, be fulfilled, have a career, be happy with ourselves, but not measure happiness by successful marriage. I was a woman of my society, following only my husband's desires, supporting him to succeed, and totally denying my existence. I left my job several times just because my husband convinced me to do that. I almost stopped having my own friends because having only his friends. I struggled to meet my family because only his family was important. I have never had my money because my money was for family, but his money was for him. I pretended not to see my male colleagues on the street because saying hello to them would cause trouble for me at home. At some point, I stopped smiling, listening to music, and showing my emotions. My husband became a politician, but I was his wife at his back. At that time, we did not know about the concept of emotional abuse, how to recognize it, and how to deal with it. But the society has developed and started to talk about us and what emotional abuse is. My personality was deeply depressed, but fortunately, it was not killed. And when I reached 40, I decided to take my life back. I divorced not only my husband, but stereotypes, biases, social expectations, and toxic people around me. I started my own life from scratch, making new friends, new connections, having a new fabulous job, continuing my education, and achieving a high expertise level in public procurement in my country, working with the best experts in my country at that time. And I'm following the same path in Ireland now. Toastmasters Club, you guys, you helped me to follow my dreams and to achieve my objectives of integrating into Irish and international community. developing my communication skills, and following my objective of becoming a consultant and trainer in public procurement, as I have been in my country. Following Victoria Strabosch Wisdom podcast, where she asks, do you believe what you say about yourself? Or do you know about yourself? In that part of my life, I didn't believe and I didn't know who I was. In my new life, I started to believe in what other people say and I say about myself. And currently, I would say it's 50-50 about what I believe and what I know about myself. My message to you and to all people is, it is never too late to start a new life. The transformation is fascinating. A new life journey is just fabulous. The freedom that I've got is the freedom to be myself. Everyone deserves that. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Learn to understand yourself and know who you are. By the way, what's the animal or bird that you associate with? What is your story? Back to you, John. Thank you.
Unmute and let's applaud. That was not an icebreaker. That was a declaration of independence. She's going to wash that man right out of her hair, and she washed societal expectations. It's overused, but thank you, Katie. You go, girl.
The stage is yours.
Yeah, but
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I don't know about you. I was simply riveted by Kate's Meaun's presentation. She began by, her title of her speech was Freedom, and she opens with a picture of a buzzard or a condor being set free. And of course, the condor has not been free. He staggers around. She uses that as a metaphor for her life. She talks about her relationship with her husband, and she talks about how she became free in her 40s. The speech is about emotional abuse. That's what she says. And it's interesting, if you look at Kate and look at the background, there's a tree. On one side, it's dead. On the other side, it's nice and green. She's trying to point, and she tells you. And in the entire time, because Kate has a bit of an accent, here I'm in Los Angeles, I'm thinking to myself, where is she from? Anyway, she tells you, I'm from Ireland. And her husband apparently had not allowed her to grow, and she had to gain her freedom by divorce. And she developed herself, and she had enough freedom to use Toastmasters as a technique to develop herself, become more self-confident. She emphasized how she got a job for herself, how she developed economically, financially. The conclusion was a little, to me, I thought, the title of the speech was Freedom. She tells you how she became free, and she's giving you examples how you can do the same thing, become free. But she says, what animal do you identify with? Because she starts off with a buzzard. Okay, and that animal, I guess, is called show your freedom or show how you deal with the world. I certainly enjoyed her speech. It was inspirational. It was poignant. It was riveting. That's right, riveting to me. I found myself was listening and not evaluating. Thank you, Kate Meaun, for a wonderful presentation.
I absolutely love this icebreaker, because my whole idea of an icebreaker is not about your parents, where you're born and who your siblings are, but what made your life, what happened in your life that made you who you are. And this was absolutely, for me, just a perfect example of that. Thank you very much, Kate.
Thank you. And thank you, Kate, for that wonderful speech. I love your authenticity, the fact that you were able to be emotional without being overwhelmed by your emotions. That's a very fine line to walk, in a speech. You were not maudlin. You were courageous and honest. It's a story worth telling, and you told it so well. You inspired me, and I think you inspired everyone. And I give you credit for giving this speech. It's a very, very hard topic to talk about, and I think you handled it in a way that helped us be empathic without feeling pity for you. Thanks for letting me
Thank you.
hear this speech.
Thank you, Linda. Scott, you also raised your hand, didn't you?
I did. I would say that I loved Kate's speech. I was moved, and I had to grab a tissue and the whole bit. The only thing that I would change about your speech, Kate, just so that it doesn't quite, because controlling emotions is so hard, but when you really got emotional, you kept the tears back and everything, but you started to rock. And I could tell that, and that's okay, because I could tell that's how you were gathering yourself. But if you know that, perhaps you could grab it before it happens.
Thank you, Scott.